When you see my Lego city, there's a good chance you've looked at the roads and thought, they're just the old style Lego road plates. But they're actually made entirely from vinyl and are way more customizable while still looking fairly convincing. I've had loads of questions about them, so in this video I'm going to show you exactly how I designed them, how they're made, how they fit into the city with pavements and landscaping, and why I chose this approach over using traditional Lego road plates. I'll also talk through some of the alternatives along with the pros and cons of each, so you can decide what might work best for your own city. Before I show you how I make these roads now, it's probably worth explaining how I got here. When I built my first Lego city about 10 years ago, I made all of my roads using paint and stencils directly on the table. It worked, but it was messy, permanent, and every time I wanted to change something, it became a bit of a headache and the paint would have to come back out again. So after that, I switched to white vinyl road markings applied directly to the grey tabletop. It looked much cleaner and more realistic, even though it was time consuming to do, but it still had one major downside. Every time I changed the layout of the city, which, let's be honest, happens quite a lot, I had to peel up all the road markings and apply them all over again. So I wanted something that looked just as good, but could be moved around whenever I redesigned things, and that's where these roads came from. I'm actually a graphic designer by trade, so designing things like this is something I really enjoy. It combines two of my favourite things, digital design and Lego. Instead of being limited to the road plates that already exist, I can design exactly what I need, whether that's a new junction, parking bays, an airport runway, or something completely unique to my city, like road markings for a car rental I'm working on, or a narrow one-way street. So every road starts life on my laptop, where I design all of the markings and dimensions. They're based off the 4 designs of the old style road plates: straight, curve, T-junction and crossroad, but with a few improvements. For example, the curve road is notoriously difficult to pave because this quarter circle on the inside doesn't fit any existing Lego plate or brick shape. So I fixed this by making the curve tighter to fit the 6x6 round corner plate piece. Once the design is finished, I load a sheet of grey vinyl into my vinyl cutter. The outer shape of each road section is cut all the way through both the grey vinyl and its backing, so each square is the size of a base plate. The white road markings are then cut through the top grey layer only, leaving the white backing intact underneath. When you weed out those pieces by hand, it reveals the white backing below to create the lane markings, stop lines, crossings and arrows. This technique works really well for white markings because the backing is already white. For coloured markings, like the yellow bus stop, I simply cut those separately from yellow vinyl and apply them on top of the grey. It keeps everything looking clean while giving me the freedom to add different colours whenever I need them. The finished roads are durable, high quality, and most importantly for me, can simply be picked up and moved whenever I decide to redesign things. I have the freedom to create absolutely anything, and I already have ideas for other designs like box junctions, taxi ranks, bike lanes and highways. Of course, no solution is perfect, and these roads do have a couple of drawbacks. The first is that because they're made from vinyl, they aren't rigid. Left on their own, the edges can start to curl. Thankfully, that was a pretty easy problem to solve. I simply make each road section slightly wider than the visible road itself, so the extra material tucks underneath the pavements and buildings, holding everything nice and flat. Around the edges of the table, where there's nothing to tuck them under, a small piece of double-sided tape does the trick. The other thing people often ask is, well, what about studs? How do you stick anything to them? Well, obviously they're not made from Lego and they don't have studs, so you can't stick things directly to them. But I just build a simple structure using Lego plates underneath the pavement tiles. Those plates bridge the gap between the road and the pavement, locking everything together into one solid section. Once the pavement tiles are on top, everything stays securely in place, while still allowing the roads themselves to be lifted out or rearranged whenever I want to change things up. So although the roads aren't built from Lego, they're still designed to work really well with it. Of course, this isn't the only way to build roads in a Lego city, and I don't think there's a single right answer or best approach. Every system has its own strengths, and it really comes down to what you want from your city. The classic Lego road plates are still a brilliant option. They came in 4 different designs, the roads are wide enough for most modern Lego vehicles, and the studs around the edges make it really easy to connect pavements, street accessories and landscaping. The biggest downside is simply availability. Lego stopped making these years ago, So if you want to use them today, you'll need to buy them secondhand from places like Bricklink or eBay, where a single straight piece can easily cost around £5. So a lot of cities now will use the new Lego road plates, which are great if you're starting from scratch and want something that's fully integrated with modern Lego sets. They're modular, easy to expand, and fit seamlessly into the current city range. For me though, I found them a little too narrow for many of the larger modern vehicles, like Speed Champions. They're also 2 plates tall, so if you're displaying them alongside modular buildings, you'll need to raise them up using a mills system. And while that system is incredibly flexible, creating smooth looking curves isn't quite as straightforward, and mills can become incredibly expensive. And then we come to brick-built roads, which in my opinion are probably the most creative option. They give you complete freedom over road markings, junctions, curbs, bus lanes, pretty much every detail you can think of. The trade-off is the amount of bricks, time and money they require. There are some fantastic builders creating roads this way, including Preston Builds and Monkey Bricks, and if I had an unlimited budget and unlimited time, it's probably the route I'd choose too. For me though, my custom vinyl road sits somewhere in the middle between affordable and customizable. They give me the realistic look and completely flexible layouts that I want, without using thousands of extra Lego pieces just for roads. They're inexpensive, working out around 50p each. They're easy to redesign whenever I change things, and they let me save my Lego budget for the buildings, vehicles and little details that really bring the city to life. At the end of the day, the best road system is simply the one that works for you. What suits my layout might not suit yours, and I think that's one of the best things about Lego collections. There isn't one correct way to build. So that's how I make the roads in my Lego city. They're not perfect and they're probably not the right solution for everyone, but they're pretty effective and they've been great for the way I like to build. They give me realistic looking roads, complete freedom over the layout, and the flexibility to keep evolving my city without starting from scratch every time. I'd love to know what you think. Do you prefer the classic Lego road plates, the newer road system, brick-built roads, or something fully custom like this? And one final question. Quite a few people have asked whether I'd ever consider selling these. Right now I only make them for myself, but if that's something you'd genuinely be interested in, let me know in the comments. I'm curious to see if there's enough demand to explore it in the future. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more of my city, and I will see you in the next one.